Of the 93 season at home. A full house is on hand at Texas Stadium as the Green Bay Packers come to Irving to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Dan Fouts at Texas Stadium. Two teams who come in with identical records, 1-2, but such different attitudes, Dan. The Cowboys are almost buoyant because of the return of Emmitt Smith.
And well, they should be. Jimmy Johnson told us yesterday that as a player, Emmitt Smith is so vital to this football team, but he's also well respected and liked by his teammates, and we all can remember just how many times that this man has pulled us through.
The Green Bay Packers have lost the last two times out in heartbreaking fashion. How do they overcome that, and how do they win today?
Well, Coach Mike Holmgren told me yesterday, we just got to let it fly. We got to be aggressive on offense. That means getting quarterback Brett Favre out of the pocket, perhaps, and we've got to stretch the defense deep by throwing to Sterling Sharp. But also on defense, look for the Packers to be more aggressive, perhaps blitzing more in passing situations.
It rained overnight in North Texas, and the skies are cloudy. That is why the field is damp. No threat of rain immediately. Temperature in the upper 60s. Corey Harris, #1 in the league in kickoff returns, will do that chore now. Nope, it's going to be Darrell Thompson for Green Bay, and he's got some room, a lot more. And here's Eddie Murray, who has to dive down, and Thompson stopped and was touched. Now there is a flag back on the play.
The flag is going to be offsides against Dallas, Vern, so this return will stand. But what happened, it looked like number 44, Dexter McNabb, tripped up Thompson. That's why you saw Thompson get back up on his feet and run down the field.
Corey Harris leads the league in returns, and that time it was Darrell Thompson who's back as a personal blocker more often than not. Here's Tom White.
Offsides, number 37 on the kicking team. The penalty is declined. We take the result of the play, first down.
Packers open at their own 45-yard line. Brett Favre, who has been bothered by the blitz the last 2 weeks, expect the Cowboys to come. Second year as a starter now for the Green Bay Packers. First time that Favre has ever played in this stadium. First down from the 45. Sharp is in motion. They hand it off to John Stevens, and he gets a couple. Let's check the Packer offense now. Along with Favre, you've got a front line of Rutgers, Frank Winters, Rich Moran still injured, Campen, Galbraith, and Tootie Robbins. John Stevens and Edgar Bennett both played very well, especially early last week. Sterling Sharp and Mark Clayton are the wide receivers, and Jackie Harris is the tight end. Second down and 8. Ball at the 47. Favre, short setup, finds his tight end Jackie Harris, and that will be close for the first down at the Cowboy 46-yard line. Ken Norton, the new middle linebacker, makes the stop. For Dallas, it's Haley, Russell Meriden, Casillas, and Tony Tolbert. Up front, it's Tolbert, not Tobert. Darren Smith, Ken Norton, and Dixon Edwards are the linebackers. Norton, the new middle linebacker. The secondary, Brown and Everett, Woodson and Kevin Smith. 3rd and 1. 3 tight ends now. West and Chimura join Jackie Harris. That's Chimura in motion. Edgar Bennett moves it across the 45. 1st and 10, Green Bay.
That excellent return by Darrell Thompson gives Favre and the Packers obviously wonderful field position. And look for Favre and the Packers to be more aggressive with their pass offense. Favre said he wants to use a couple of bootlegs, a couple of waggles, get away from the pressure. But they also know it's vital that they have to force the ball down the field to open things up for their short passing game.
In each of their last 2 games, they have scored on the opening drive and lost both times. Into the flat, out of the backfield, Edgar Bennett. And he moves it inside the 40 to the 39. Kevin Smith and Dixon Edwards make the tackle.
Talking to Bennett yesterday, he says he got 3 roles on this football team. #1 as a runner, #2 as a blocker, and #3 as a receiver. And he had a wonderful game against the Minnesota Vikings, doing all 3 of those things just a week ago.
Second down and 5. No score, opening drive of the ball game. Blitz is threatened. Here comes the blitz, and they try to sweep to the right side. Calvin, John Stevens, the ball carrier, and it's Darren Smith in his first start as a pro, number 59. He played for Jimmy Johnson at Miami, and he makes the tackle.
The sweep is a good call against the blitz, but when you have speed from the left side, we're going to see number 59, Darren Smith, run this play down. Cowboys pride themselves in having great team speed. Smith is just a rookie, but one of the reasons Jimmy Johnson wants him in the lineup is he runs a 4.4 40.
Third and 5, no score. Double tight end set for the Packers now. One running back, that's John Stevens. Sharp to the right side, Clayton to the left. Jackie Harris in motion. No blitz on the line. Sterling Sharp makes the grab in his 84th start for the Green Bay Packers. Last year's leading receiver in the NFL with 108 grabs.
Perhaps the most gifted zone pass receiver, should we say. Look how he finds the hole between all those secondary men. 4 of them converge after the catch, and that's important for the Cowboys because nobody runs better with the ball after the catch than Sterling Sharp.
Second, third down conversion. It's 1st and 10 at the 27, make it the 28. Not 27-yard line officially. Here's a reverse to Sharp. Casillas just misses him, but then some pursuit catches up. Dixon Edwards, or rather Darren Woodson, made the stop. That's a loss of 5.
That play took too long to develop. By the time that Favre finally handed it off to Sharp, Casillas was in the backfield with great penetration for Sharp deep, and that made an easy play for Woodson to push Sharp out of bounds for that loss of 4.
2nd and 14. Stevens the motion man. Favre left side to Bennett. Winters with a block. Bennett inside the 20 and out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Edgar Bennett, who said he wanted to catch about 70 yards worth of passes today.
Yeah, his ideal day would be 50 rushing and 70 pass receiving, and a whole lot of good blocks. Here's a good block here by number 75, Ken Rutgers. He'll run Haley all the way up the field, keep him away from Favre, and create a nice throwing lane so Bennett can see the ball easily and then get all the way down to inside the 15-yard line, almost to the 10.
That's a gain of 20. The Packers have a 1st and 10, and they can get a first down without the touchdown. Stevens bounced at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, the Packers got the great return by Thompson, and this is another good opening drive for the Packers. They've done this in each of their 3 games. They've got to finish this one off with a touchdown to make it 4 in a row where they've scored on their opening drive.
Mike Holmgren's team won the first game of the year 36-6 over the Rams. Lost to Philadelphia at home on a last-second field goal and did the same last week on the road in Minnesota. 2nd and 8. No score opening quarter. Sharp in motion left side. Quick setup into the right flat from Mark Clayton. He had 1 grab last week, none the week before that. He's been almost an absent member of this offense. His new team, of course, he played so many years in Miami.
One thing that all the Packer opponents know is that when Sharp goes in motion, the reason Holmgren's doing that is to get him off the bump and run, to give him more opportunities to catch the ball. That time Holmgren and Favre changed things up. They put Sharp in motion to the left and threw the quick out to a wide open Mark Clayton to the right.
3rd and 2. Bennett and Stevens back in the backfield. They split 2 wide receivers right side. Clock was down to 2 seconds.
And our first example of a bad rule by the NFL, that 40-second clock, costs Favre and Holmgren a very expensive timeout.
9:05 remaining first quarter. Packers on the 3.
Linebacker today, Vern. Ken Norton moves from the weak side to the middle, and it's amazing that the Cowboys just won the Super Bowl a couple of months ago, and they have 3 linebackers in this lineup today that are playing that didn't play in that game in these positions.
And they are now facing a Green Bay team that has a 3rd and 2 at the 3. They can make a first down without the touchdown. Jackie Harris in motion. They'll throw it, and it's caught at the goal line. Is it a touchdown? No indication yet. No TD, but it's a first down. Woodson made the tackle, but it'll be 1st and goal, Green Bay.
A quick slant to Sharp. He just comes right down the middle, and it's a perfect pass by Favre. And great defense by Woodson and Norton, keeping Sterling Sharp inches away from the end zone.
Green Bay scored on its opening drive at home against Philadelphia, opening drive on the road last week at Minnesota. And they are inches away now with 4 shots at it. Chimura in motion. Edgar Bennett popped up high. Touchdown. Broke the plane. Green Bay leads 6-0.
Packer backs reverse roles that time. That time it was John Stevens lining up at the halfback position, leading Edgar Bennett over the top.
Really an impressive drive to open the game. Good field position established by Darrell Thompson's 42-yard kickoff return. The key play in the drive was a 20-yard screen pass to Edgar Bennett on 3rd down. Here's Chris Jackie, who played high school ball in nearby Richardson, Texas.
Edgar Bennett told us yesterday that being a football player is a lot about attitude, explosion, and sometimes a little bit of height gets you in the end zone.
Packers are up by 7.
The National Football League is sponsored by Oldsmobile. Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers, the best hamburgers and a whole lot more. Coca-Cola Classic, always the real thing, always Coca-Cola. And by Xerox, the document company.
Well, some of the cheeseheads have found seats here in Texas Stadium. And the Cowboys are down by 7. Here's Chris Jackie's kickoff. Kevin Williams drifts back, and it'll be a touchback, come out to the 20-yard line. And the Dallas Cowboys take offense for the first time. Troy Aikman, who had a terrific game week before last in Phoenix, 21 of 27. Tuanay, Newton, Stepnoski, Gogan, and Eric Williams are the offensive line. It's Smith making the start at in the backfield, along with Darryl Johnston. Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper are the wide receivers, and Jay Novacek is the tight end. First down and 10. Backs are split behind Troy Aikman. Smith gets to the line of scrimmage plus perhaps a half a yard. Packer defense. Matt Brock gets a start for Sean Patterson at right end. Bill Moss at nose. Reggie White at left end. The linebackers are Bryce Pop, Johnny Holland, George Coots, and Wayne Simmons. In the secondary, it's Mitchell and Pryor along with Butler and Buckley. 2nd down and 9. Pong goes over to the right side, and Darryl Johnston starts in motion. Aikman across the middle, Alvin Harper out to the 35, first down.
So much a part of the Cowboy offense is using motion and formations to uncover receivers. Johnston had already gone in motion to the outside beyond Harper, and look, there's just nobody in front of Harper. Nice throwing lane for Aikman.
Gain of 14 and a first down from 35. Blitz is coming, and Emmett Smith sneaks through left tackle behind Johnston's block and that of Novacek, and then Tuanay was also over there. Detroit with an early lead on Barry Sanders' 20-yard touchdown run. By the way, Emmitt Smith started today 359 yards behind Barry Sanders, but Barry Sanders has a bye week in hand. So
yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, if you know one thing about Emmitt Smith, if he's close at the end of the year, he's going to play in that game regardless of the way the outcome might affect the standings. He likes those rushing titles.
Aikman goes deep, caught. Michael Irvin Harris. 61 yards. And here is Eddie Murray, who is kicking in this stadium for the first time ever, despite a 14-year career. Most of those years spent with Detroit, and the last time they played at Texas Stadium was in 1977. So Murray tacks on the tying point, but it's Aikman to Irvin for the
timing
TD.
was exquisite on this play. Vern 5 steps back, Aikman lets it go, and then the playmaker Michael Irvin takes it the rest of the way. We got a tie ball game.
First quarter, both teams scoring on their opening drives. And the Packers now at their own 32-yard line. Cowboys are stunning Favre with a safety valve pass to Bennett, but he turns it into a first down.
That's one thing Favre's going to see a lot of today from the Cowboys is zone defense. That time very patiently and with real good pass protection. You notice Favre got back real deep and didn't have anybody in his face, as he's seen the last couple of weeks. So you don't get anybody in your face, you're going to be 7 out of 7.
Pretty nice start. He had been bothered, Dan, it appeared, so much by the blitz the last 2 weeks.
And it's important for him to get away from the line of scrimmage. And I think Holmgren is cognizant of those problems. And he's a smart coach. He's going to make things as easy as possible for his quarterback.
Charles Haley on Edgar Bennett.
Haley came into the game with a sore right knee, missed practice on Wednesday, but he looks pretty healthy on this one. Great quickness off the ball. Number 94, as he just jumps inside the block or attempted block of tight end Jackie Harris. One thing the Cowboy line will do is they'll slant one way, and if you're not ready for it, no matter how athletic you may be as a blocker or a tight end, it's going to be tough to make a block on a guy like Haley.
Second down and 13. Favre, that one is tipped away by Ken Norton. First start as a middle linebacker.
Norton likes the move now to a middle linebacker because he has the opportunity to make plays. He sees Clayton coming and he just comes right over the top. That's an outstanding play by a middle linebacker, but Norton is used to playing middle linebacker and against the pass offenses because he has to do it so many times in nickel situations.
Those first 3 linebackers all played under Tom Landry. In 29 years, there were 3 of them. And here's movement by Rutgers at left end. Favre, this play will come back, and there goes Tom White, the referee. Bodies are falling all over the place, and Frank Winters just took care of Jimmy Jones at the end of the whole play.
And Favre is telling him, hey, man, you got to blow that whistle a little bit louder. I think when White saw the traffic coming out of him, he might have been swallowing this whistle. Trying to wave his hands around. That doesn't help the quarterback any. It looks like, you know, a nice free shot on the official.
Well, Jones got the official, but
Number 75 offense, 5 yards, still third down.
Tom's breathing a little heavy, isn't he?
the rarefied altitude of Irving, Texas.
You see a guy like Jones coming at you at 285 pounds and make your heart beat a little faster.
Last time these 2 teams played was in 1989 at the end of a Cowboy 1-15 season, Jimmy Johnson's first year. 3rd and 18. Favre, pretty good protection again. Strong arms it for Sharp, and it's incomplete. Thomas Everett was in the vicinity. It'll be 4th down.
Good defensive series there for the Cowboys, and that was aided by the offsides penalty against Ken Rutgers. Those 3rd and 18s are hard to convert.
Rutgers, who last week held Chris Dolman rather out of the offensive backfield. Here's the punt by Wagner. Kevin Williams, who's had problems holding on to the football with 3 fumbles in 3 games, but he returns this one to the 21-yard line. The 2nd-round draft choice from Miami by way of Dallas. 7-7 ball game, a 53-yard punt, 7 on the Williams return. Time call.
So do you know?
Texas Stadium filled again, as it has been in the last year and a half or so. 65,000 plus on hand in this facility that was built in the early 70s. And the Green Bay Packers coming to town to take on the Dallas Cowboys. This series goes back to 1960. And Green Bay leads overall 10 games to 6, including a couple of NFC Championship games. Here's Aikman going left side. It finds Michael Irvin in front of Roland Mitchell.
Last time the Cowboys saw Reggie White, he was wearing a green uniform, but it had wings on the helmet. This is the yellow helmet of the Packers, but they know where Reggie is. This time he lined up across from Kevin Gogan down inside, and Packers are still searching for a way to get number 92 more big plays.
That's going to be a fascinating matchup today. Reggie White against Eric Williams. The 2nd time they met last year in regular season. Eric Williams was voted Offensive Player of the Week in the NFL. Here's Michael Irvin, and he almost breaks out of the tackle. As it is, he beats Mitchell to the 39-yard line. "29-yard pickup."
Yeah, it's a post pattern that the Cowboys are so good at. Irvin comes down to the inside, and Aikman will just come back 5 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let it rip. Irvin has the body size to shield Mitchell from the ball.
1st down and 10. Emmitt Smith to the 35-yard line. Interesting how most folks around the league now talk about these Cowboys, the huge size they've got at wide receiver.
They are the biggest wide receivers in football, and now that Harper's starting to play up to that #1 draft pick billing, he really gives them weapons on both sides, but they're always bigger than the guys covering them. They may not be faster, but they get their body in the way. It's almost like playing basketball, dumping the ball into the low post center.
2nd down and 8. Aikman, Novacek, 1st down at the 19.
Last week, Aikman hit 9 in a row to start the ball game. Well, he's 5 in a row so far, and if the pass protection couldn't be any better. Tuane, number 76 at the top of the screen, is going to be working on Matt Brock, and Brock is just a step slow to get to Aikman. And they're just picking apart this Packer defense.
Aikman 133 yards already on 5 completions. Emmitt Smith hit at the point of the exchange. Bryce Popp, number 95, was right there. Emmitt Smith, of course, signed that contract week before last. Said yesterday in a long conversation with us that he bore no bitterness, but he would never forget. I thought he was somewhat unconvincing when he said he bore no bitterness.
Well, loyalty is such a big part of being an athlete and being a team member, and sometimes an organization and player don't always see eye to eye on just what loyalty means.
Blitz coming from the outside. Aikman across the middle, and Smith drops it.
And Reggie's telling him, Emmitt, you catch that one, you're spiking that ball in the end zone. There was nobody there. Emmitt had a step, and he stops Aikman's completion string here. Hit him right in the old hands there, and look at even the Green Bay guy was amazed. He was ready to signal touchdown.
Jimmy Johnson will pull Emmitt Smith out of the lineup on 3rd and 10 now, and Derek Gaynor comes in. Kevin Williams is also in as a third wide receiver. 3rd and 8. First third down of the game for the Cowboys. Aikman. Kevin Williams. And he falls, is tackled short of the first down at the 15-yard line, so we'll see Eddie Murray. Kevin Williams, who was a local lad. He played high school ball at Roosevelt High School in Dallas, and the other NFL player who came from Roosevelt High School played there by the name of John Washington. You knew him by a different name.
He came to San Diego in 1958 as John Jefferson, or JJ, one of the most charismatic players I've ever played with or ever seen, and did some time in Green Bay as well.
Eddie Murray. Novacek will hold it. It's up and it is good. And Eddie Murray, the longtime Green Bay Packer. Green Bay Packer, I beg your pardon, Detroit Lions. My, there's a lot going on here. It's 10-7, Cowboys lead. Corey Harris leads the NFL in kick returns with an average of nearly 32 yards per return. Had a 65-yarder last week. And despite that degree of excellence he's displayed, never in his life has he returned a kickoff for a touchdown. Onside kick. Tried by the Cowboys, picked up by Dallas. They wanted to make something happen in the kicking game, and they just did. Darren Smith. Jimmy Johnson said yesterday, I think we can make a couple of big plays in the kicking game.
Well, last year, the kicking game, special teams, really jump-started the Cowboys season. So far this year, it's put them in a hole up until this moment. Excellent call by Avezzano and perfect execution by Eddie Murray. Packers had this one on the first bounce, but then Gaynor comes in and drills Marcus Wilson, and it's a big hop to Darren Smith, and the Cowboys get the ball inside the 50. What a play by Gaynor, and a great bounce off this turf to Smith.
First down and 10. Troy Aikman will probably go for a bunch. Pumps, goes deep. Michael Irvin has his man beat, and there's the flag.
Mitchell complaining that Irvin was grabbing him, but Mitchell never looked back for the ball. That's an easy call for the official to make. That's our back judge, Paul Bates, number 22 there. He had the flag out early.
Number 47 defense. It'll be a first down for Dallas, the 9-yard line.
Mitchell never looks back for this ball until it's too late. He made contact. Ball just a little bit underthrown, but Irvin gets the call.
First and goal at the 9. They have victimized Roland Mitchell in the first quarter and first series of the second quarter. Smith stacked up at the 7. Reggie White, number 92.
A lot of the talk this year has been about field goal kicking and how much of an influence that part of special teams has been on the game. But today we saw a 42-yard kickoff return for the Packers to open the day, and then that surprise onside kick by Eddie Murray. So the kickers are getting involved in the NFL.
Yeah, I think back to our conversation with Johnson yesterday. He said we can make a couple of things happen in the kicking game. I think we both were thinking of returns or blocked punts or such.
Yeah, he didn't say anything about onside kicks.
Especially to open the second quarter. Aikman. Pumps. Dives out of bounds at the 1.5.
And that's going to be close for a first down. Just too many weapons to defense. But it all starts with great pass protection. Aikman gets a chance to look at the entire field and smartly tucks it under his arm and gets down real close to the first down.
It will be 3rd and goal. And time has been called. There's the 40-second clock that comes into play again. This time 3 seconds remaining on the play clock. Aikman calls time. Dallas leads by 3. left, the offensive coordinator, Norval Turner, who is among the happiest guys in North Texas with the return of Emmitt Smith.
Well, he has his entire offense to work with, the most potent offense in the NFL right now.
3rd and goal from the 1. Backs in the eye. Emmitt Smith. And Leroy Butler makes the tackle. It'll be 4th and goal.
I think the Cowboys might have outguessed themselves there, or tried to outsmart themselves, because they tried to go wide to Emmitt Smith. They're only a yard or 2 away from the end zone. And how many times have we seen Emmitt Smith just following Johnston over the top and into the end zone? Good play by the Packers, keeping their contain on Smith and forcing this field goal attempt.
Eddie Murray on for the 2nd field goal attempt in the ball game. This from 19 yards. Up and good, and the Cowboys use the onside kick and the recovery, plus a 40-yard penalty to set up the field goal. And this is how this drive started after the last field goal.
Yeah, with the left foot here by Murray. Nice big bounce there. Marcus Wilson had it for an instant, and then it's a one-hopper to Darren Smith that set up this field goal by Eddie Murray. And the Cowboys are getting with the swing of things in the NFL in '93. They got 2 field goals already.
I know how happy that makes you.
I hear Bradshaw talking about narrowing the goalposts. I said, why don't we just get rid of them altogether? Take the foot out of football and let's throw it around the lot a little bit.
There's Joe Avezzano. You saw urging his special teams on. Joe, who keeps the memento of his days in Corvallis in his office. He's got a 10-gallon hat with Oregon State around it.
And he had to be proud of those Beavers yesterday as they upset Arizona State. He's also 1991 Special Teams Coach of the Year. Got a nice big trophy in his office too for that.
And Eddie Murray will kick it deep, we assume, to Corey Harris.
Been the best part of the Packer offense today has been their kickoff returns. Both Harris and Thompson.
13-7, 12:55 to go first half. This will be Harris at the 7. And he's tackled at the 25-yard line. Matt Vanderbeek made the stop.
One thing Holmgren told us yesterday is he's got to open up his offense a little bit more and get the ball down the field. Favre had 20 completions last week against Minnesota. 17 were 5 yards or less, and 3 were 10 yards or less. No completions over 10 yards for the Packers. That can't get it done and won't get it done in the NFL.
Mike Holmgren said he would gamble today. He's going to open it up. Favre is 7 of 9. Packers trail by 6, 13-7. Quick setup, left side, incomplete. Intended for Mark Clayton.
When you look at those statistics and everything, when Favre first came into the game, they said, well, he doesn't have the touch to throw the short pass. Well, that's all he's been doing the start of this season. He told us yesterday, now people are complaining, hey, he doesn't have the arm to throw the long pass. He can't win.
Tell you who thinks he can is Troy Aikman. They played together at the Pro Bowl, and Troy Aikman said he's got one of the strongest arms he'd seen. Play action. Favre, incomplete. Intended for Bennett, and he had Darren Smith over his back. It'll be 3rd down.
Another example of what Holmgren's going to try to do today is use more play action, try to get Favre in different places of the field to read the defense. We also might see him on some rollouts today and some waggle plays. Try to get him away from that pressure.
That was the backup quarterback Ty Detmer signaling in the plays. Marcus Wilson comes in now on 3rd down. So does Robert Brooks. That's Wilson, number 29. 3rd and 10. Cowboys bring 4. Favre fires it. And that's a 1st down out to the 37-yard line. Sterling Sharp with another grab, a gain of 12.
I think fires it is the perfect description of that pass, Vern. Sharp again found the hole in the secondary, and this ball, watch as he turns his head around, this ball is on its way and it's smoking. Knew exactly what he needed for the first down, got a perfect pass, and the Packers moved the chains.
Sterling Sharp, who said he enters every game expecting to catch a minimum of 7. Had 7 in each of the first 5 last week. 1st and 10. Nope, they're going to bring this back. Looked like Sharp had moved across the line out on the left side.
False start. Number 84 offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
That's just lack of concentration by Sharp. The play was designed to go to the other side to Clayton.
Green Bay has, as Dan said a moment ago, their biggest weapon so far has been the kickoff return. Total yards from scrimmage 76, and most of those on the opening drive. For the 3rd week in a row, they scored a touchdown to open the game, but they trail now 13-7. 11:35 to go first half. That's John Stevens, tackled by Tony Casillas. This Dallas defense under the new coordinator Butch Davis had, he told us yesterday, has played fairly well with the exception of the 3rd quarter and part of the 4th in the opening game Monday night in Washington.
And he said that the difference that we'll see with the Cowboys as the season goes along, he feels that they're getting more experience and that he feels more comfortable with them being a pressure-oriented defense, which is one of those coach speak terms for we're going to blitz more.
Favre to Bennett. Blockers in front. Bennett to the 43. That's short of the first down. The tackle is made by Darren Woodson. They picked up 11. They needed 15.
Packers are getting pretty good at this screen pass after not calling any for their first 2 weeks of the season. They threw it about 6 times last week. Bennett was recipient of most of those, and here he is again coming out behind Winters and Galbraith and Campen. That's pretty good when you can get 3 linemen out in front of your screens.
3rd and 3. 10:15 to go first half. Cowboys lead 13-7. Favre right side. Marcus Wilson has the catch and a first down at the Cowboy 45-yard line. Tackle made by Kevin Smith. Michael Irvin has the Cowboy touchdown in this game, a 61-yard catch from Troy Aikman.
He already has over 100 yards receiving on just 3 catches.
First and 10. Green Bay. Colorado and Atlanta scoreless in the 3rd. And of course the Giants play the Dodgers later this afternoon. The Braves and Dodgers tied at the top. NL West. Play action. Favre. Jackie Harris, the tight end, at the 37-yard line. Gain of 8.
It's one of those little bootlegs right there, Vern. After the fake, Favre rolled out and hit his tight end. And that's a nice gain on first down to be able to bring up a 2nd down and short where the defense is really off balance. They don't know whether to expect a run or a pass. It's one of those free down type of plays that a lot of teams will try to go deep on.
2nd and 2. Bennett makes the catch. That's another first down.
Now
now they're saying
catch,
incomplete.
Yeah.
He was bobbling it.
Well, the play was made by Dixon Edwards, number 58. Here's Bennett and Edwards. Watch the strip with the right hand. That's perfect timing and a good call. That's in slow motion. It looked like Bennett might have had the ball, but in regular speed, that's bang, bang.
And again, the call was made by Paul Betts. 16 passes and 9 runs so far.
We talked about Holmgren wanting to let it fly. He's let it fly a few times already.
3rd and 2. 13-7. Cowboys lead. And the officials have called time. Dallas has called time. So that is The Cowboys' second time they've used a timeout. They've got one left. 9:10 to go first half. 13-7 Cowboys. Credit this man for inadvertently helping the negotiations along. After they lost to Buffalo, Charles Haley put his helmet through the wall and said, blankety blank, blankety blank, get Emmitt Smith back in here. Jerry Jones was listening. Here's Sterling Sharp with another grab for a first down at the 35. And there is Emmitt Smith, who told us last night that he watched that Buffalo game from Tallahassee, where he was watching his brother play football at Florida State. And he said he got a big smile out of the fact that Thurman Thomas had number 22 taped to his ankle. And
he also kind of liked the way the crowd was chanting his name, Emmitt, Emmitt. And you know that Haley's well-placed helmet may have had something to do with us seeing Emmitt here today.
First down and 10. Here's the pass to the left. John Stevens down near the 20. Just to round out the story about the aftermath of the loss to Buffalo, they all walked into the locker room, and Haley, who is an explosive personality, slammed his helmet into the wall and broke through. Said with expletives deleted, let's sign Emmitt Smith. And the next item on the agenda was for the team to kneel and say the Lord's Prayer.
You always got to say the Lord's Prayer after a game.
There was something incongruous about it all. I'm not sure how else to put it. 2nd and 1.
Amen.
Here's the blitz, and they got him. Ken Norton.
He was a little reluctant at first to make the move to the middle linebacker position, Vern, but the coach said as far as the team aspect is concerned, this will fit your personality because you can make plays. And if you make plays, then the individual honors will come. He sidesteps the block and drops Stevens for a big loss.
When he was signed as a second-round draft choice out of UCLA, people referred to him as Ken Norton Jr. Most folks have dropped the junior now. He's earned his own identity. Blitz. And they throw it away. Favre had to get rid of it.
Had to get rid of it because it was a safety blitz by James Washington. And that's usually the blitz adjustment for most offenses, is put the ball up. Packer fans have seen way too much of this, though, with Favre just unloading the ball down the field in the general direction of Sterling Sharp. But Sharp isn't looking for this one. He sees it sail over his head. And a good play and a good call by Dallas, and Butch Davis sets up this field goal try.
Chris Jackie, who grew up about 20 miles from the stadium and then played collegiately at the University of Texas at El Paso out of Wagner's Hole. That's got plenty. But it is wide to the right. Not the kind of homecoming he wanted. A very impressive drive goes wide right. It's still 13-7.
That and was trying to avoid it, and he may have overstrided, and that's why the ball never hooked in between the uprights.
Misses from 43. And that's his first miss after 9 in a row for the Green Bay Packers. So that streak comes to an end. Cowboys take over. Aikman play action. They're going to test the right side, and they've got Alvin Harper open. There is also a flag down. Here's Harper at the 9.
Flag is down in the secondary, Vern. But the officials are saying, come on down. It may be against the Packers, and this play will stand.
Illegal contact. Number 36 defense. Penalty is declined. The result of the play will be a first down and goal.
It's illegal contact against the Packers, and it's going to happen right in the middle of the field. But at the top of the screen, there's the illegal contact. But at the top of the screen is Harper at 6'3", going over the 5'9" Terrell Buckley and a 66-yard gain.
Emmitt Smith comes left. But the theme of this first half offensively for Dallas has been, let's expose the Green Bay secondary.
They've been exposed already this year. There are only 2 losses. Randall Cunningham beat them with a touchdown pass. And, of course, who will ever forget Gulliford's catch last week from Jim McMahon? That was just a size mismatch. We talked about the size advantage that the Cowboys have on all the defensive backs in the league. But 5'9" against 6'3", that's just not going to hold up.
Second down and goal from the 7. Smith in motion out of the backfield. Aikman, short setup, finds Irvin at the goal line, and he is stopped just short of the score. That'll officially be a gain of 6.
This was what sets the All-Pros apart from just the rest of the guys playing in the NFL. Catching the ball over the middle, knowing you're going to get tagged. As soon as you do, then the big guys are on their way. Nice job of Buckley that time, standing Irvin up and preventing the touchdown and waiting for help to come.
Michael Irvin, 4 catches, 104 yards. And you see the Green Bay defense inside the 20.
They've only given up 3 touchdowns all year.
Right.
But Johnson and Norv Turner told me yesterday that with Emmitt back in the game, a lot of people are going to be concentrating on him, so that will open up our passing game. And it's opening it up in a big way as Aikman's just bombed the Packers secondary.
Cowboys have to burn a timeout again. That's their 3rd. They are out of timeouts with 5:13 remaining in the first half, and Dallas about to score again. Well, CBS Sports will present exclusive coverage of baseball's postseason. The battles of October began Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The Toronto Blue Jays go into Chicago to take on the White Sox. Telecast at 8, first pitch at 8:12, then game 1, either San Francisco or Atlanta.
How's that, Vern?
Where did you grow up, Dan?
I'm kind of a Giant fan. What the heck? Let's just say the Giants and Phillies, huh?
All right, it's either the 49ers or Atlanta at Philadelphia on Wednesday night.
I figure I'd make half the people mad, half the people happy, you know.
Well, the Bay Area just erupted with joy. Colorado and Atlanta in the bottom of the 3rd. No score.
All the Giants have to do today is beat the Dodgers 4 straight on the road, something they haven't done since I think you were born back in '23. And that was at Ebbets Field.
23. That's close. Cowboys have talked it over and back out. They have a 3rd down at the 1. Green Bay has not given up a rushing touchdown this year.
And remember the last time the Cowboys were in this situation, they tried to go wide on a counter play to Emmitt Smith. Look for Smith this time to go up over the top.
Smith with 7 carries for 11 yards so far. A 13-7 game. Green Bay opened by going the length of the field following the 42-yard kickoff return. They took a 7-0 lead. Dallas came back on a 61-yard Aikman to Michael Irvin pass. We've since then had 2 Eddie Murray field goals, and now Dallas threatens again. 3rd and goal at the 1. Fumble, 1 hopper. Aikman is stopped. They'll have to go for the field goal again.
We talked about the field being wet. Maybe there was a wet spot on that ball because as Aikman turned around to hand it to Smith, it just popped right out of his hand. See the snap? It appears to be a good snap. He's got it in both hands, and then it's just like a banana. Slips right out of his hand, and that's a bad feeling for a quarterback a long way from the end zone and not much blocking.
And that brings on Eddie Murray for the 3rd time. 19-yard field goal again.
But you notice the call was deep handoff to Smith up over the top. But the fumble prevented that.
Dale Hellestray is the center. Snaps it back, and Jay Novacek will hold. Eddie Murray is 3 for 3 in his first game at Texas Stadium, and the Cowboys extend their lead to 9 points.
A look behind, he'll be wearing new prototype leg pads. The Air Armor system adds protection to the lateral thigh and upper shin, while leaving room for the mandatory soft knee pad. The laminate composite shell, air bladder padding system, and support mechanisms combine to permit free, natural, and dynamic movement of the legs, while providing more protection than previously possible.
4:48 to go. Dallas trying to get the record back to 2-2, and Kenneth Gant doing a little cheerleading, number 29. Eddie Murray. Harris at the goal line. Out to the 20. Good special teams tackle by guess who? Billy Bates, number 40. He is something special.
Well, to come back from the type of knee injury he had last year, this is just remarkable. In his 11th year, playing like a first-year man, throwing his body all over the place, making another special teams tackle. And he ought to celebrate. See, that's the difference between him and Gant. Gant celebrates and runs around before the play, and he didn't get anywhere near the tackle. Bates gets in on the tackle. That's when you celebrate.
Corey Harris, who returned the kickoff, was injured on the tackle, so Harris is down at the 20-yard line.
Now, looking at his left knee, this is a bad sign. And Harris told us yesterday he was going to get more involved in the offense, perhaps on third down as a receiver. Right in behind the wedge. There comes Bates from the side, and as he hit the ground, it looked like his legs were spread, and that's where the injury occurred.
Harris, who played collegiately at Vanderbilt University, grew up in the Indianapolis area.
He may have been Holmgren's secret weapon, though, as the season develops, because he has experience on offense and is anxious to get back on that side of the ball and involved in the third down passing game.
Corey was an all-purpose player at Vanderbilt, wingback, wide receiver, running back. He gained 1,000 yards. Bright young man who grew up idolizing Eric Dickerson, who played collegiately on this field for SMU. Corey Harris, and hope it's nothing terribly serious. They'll help him out on the bench. First down and 10, Green Bay, 16-7. Favre pumps and goes deep, but there's great coverage by Kevin Smith, and Favre throws it out of bounds. Baseball on the minds of a lot of folks. Let's check in back in New York with Greg.
All right, Vernon, Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. David Need on the mound for Colorado. That's a Fred McGriff base hit up the middle. It gets Otis Nixon home. Terry Pendleton has also singled a run home in the third inning. It is now a 2-0 Atlanta lead as they look for at least a share of the NL West title today, Vern.
Okay, Greg, I wish you could have seen the frown just cross my partner's face. Not the kind of news he wanted to hear. There's Corey Harris at second down and 10. Favre finds Clayton running a crossing pattern underneath, and he's out near the 30-yard line. It'll be a half a yard short of the first down. Larry Brown with the tackle. 2-0 Atlanta over Colorado. That's the report that we just had from Greg Gumbel.
A lot of time left, Vern.
But are there enough innings left? See, you see, time is not of the essence.
Not in baseball. It never has been.
3rd and 1. Darrell Thompson is in. Flag is down. Richard Reels is the field judge, and he's the one who's in.
You know, it's not this complicated a game.
Due to an error with the clock, please reset it to 25 seconds. There is no delay game.
Ate the flag, and I appreciate the fact that Tom White explained why they picked up the flag. That seems not unreasonable to ask officials to do.
Well, that's why we gave microphones, you know, so they could talk to the crowd and talk to us, and that's a good job by Tom White. They hate to admit those errors, though.
3rd and 1. And that should be enough for a first down for the Green Bay Packers. Edgar Bennett played collegiately at Florida State. We talked last week about the small ironies in football. Well, Edgar Bennett was telling us last night that when he was in the 10th grade at R.E. Lee High School in Jacksonville, he was a cornerback. They were about to play Escambia of Pensacola in the playoffs. Escambia had a running back named Emmitt Smith. Edgar Bennett played Emmitt Smith for the scout team, gained 400 yards against his own team during the week, and they switched him to running back. Favre. Flag.
1, 2, 3 flags.
4. Somebody else on the far side got in the act.
I think that one came out of the stands.
Handkerchief was heavy, and he said,
you know, I think the Cowboys have an argument here. Was this a catchable ball? But when you throw 4 flags, you're not even going to argue.
Pass interference. Number 37 defense. First down.
But they're trying to get pressure up the middle against Favre because they've seen him put the ball up for grabs a couple of times. That's a 3 linebacker blitz that time. And Washington is a little bit too soon with his coverage. That ball was overthrown, but 4 flags says it's a good call.
13-yard penalty, bootleg. Haley knocks it down. Wow.
Well, he looked like a volleyball player that time, didn't he, Vern? He just swatted. Take that ball back. Favre is lucky he didn't pick this one off. It's a bootleg trying to fool Haley. Been around a little bit too long, gets that big right hand up there and just snuffs that one out.
Charles Haley, acquired from the 49ers last year. 2nd down and 10. 16-7, Dallas leads. Favre, fumble. Nope, incomplete pass. Bring it back. Jeffcoat has it, but it's no TD. Haley with the pressure. Tom White with the explanation.
Forward. 3rd down.
You know, Jeffcoat's run a couple of these back in his career, 2 of them, hoping this was going to be the 3rd one. Let's see if this is a good call or not. Yeah, that's a good call because Favre was coming forward, and again, it was a defensive man right in his face that knocked the ball away. Good call by Tom White. That was a forward incomplete pass.
3rd down conversions. Green Bay has been excellent thus far. They've got a 10-yard lead now. 3-man rush. Favre, right side for Bennett. Short of the first down. Kevin Smith made the tackle. And the Packers will have to punt.
The Packers are taking care of one problem, and that's giving Favre some pass protection on this play. Number 94 is Haley, lined up on the right side of the field this time, and the Pack finds where he is. Rutgers and Winters do a nice job, and they both get a kind of a cheap shot in there at the end, but why not?
Brian Wagner will punt it. Kevin Williams waits for it at the 10. And this will be allowed to drop at the 11-yard line. And then down at the 1. Well, punt returns have been a problem for the Cowboys this year.
Well, Williams, you said he has fumbled 3 times this year, and what happens, you get gun shy. And instead of making the tough catch, as that one would have been, you let the ball go. And what that does, that penalizes his team 10 yards. They're going to take over on the 1 or 2 yard line instead of at about the 12.
Joe Avazana was talking about the problems that Kevin Williams is having yesterday, and he said they fought through the same thing with Kelvin Martin a few years back. They actually replaced Kelvin Martin as a punt returner with Derek Shepard, and then they let Kelvin Martin work his way through it. They think the same thing will happen with Kevin Williams.
They're hoping the same thing happens with Kevin Williams. He's got the talent.
Cowboys at the 1. They flip it out, caught by Daryl Johnston, and he's out to the 11-yard line. Moose.
Is that what they're? I wouldn't think they would be booing that play. That was a pretty good play.
Oh, that's Moose.
What a great nickname, huh? How's Emmett doing, Vern?
Well, let's see. At the 2-minute warning, Emmitt Smith 7 for 11. Open all night. 2-minute warning. First memorable meetings between these two teams took place in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, championship game at the end of the '66 season. Don Meredith, pressured by Dave Robinson, tries to find Bullet Bob Hayes in the end zone. But because of the pressure, he threw off balance, and Tom Brown, 9 yards deep, intercepted to preserve a 7-point victory and give us one of the lasting images of Tom Landry. And they have met numerous times since. Here's Aikman handing off to Johnson. He's got a first down out to the 19-yard line.
Okay, Moose, that's it for you. If we get the ball on the 2-yard line, we'll give you 2 plays, bring it all the way out to the 20, and now you go back to being a blocking back. Nice little trap right up the middle here to Johnston.
Keep in mind the Cowboys are out of their timeouts. They had to use all 3, so they can't stop it. 90 seconds to go. Dallas is up 16-7 with 1:28 to go, first down. Emmitt Smith out to the 30. Had 45 yards last week in Phoenix. Just to put a period to the story about Edgar Bennett pretending to be Emmitt Smith before that high school quarterfinal game as Scambia and Robert E. Lee. Bennett was telling us that Robert E. Lee held Emmitt Smith to below 100 yards in that game for the only time in his high school career. However, Emmitt Smith's team did win the game. Aikman dropped by George Kuntz.
One of the rare sacks of Aikman. He's feeling this one too. This is a good time to call it. The Cowboys had been ripping him pretty good running the ball. So they're coming on the run blitz, and Kuntz comes right up the middle. And Brock gets in on it, and Bryce Pop adding a few pounds to that sack.
Green Bay calls timeout. They stop the clock with 45 seconds remaining first half. They have 1 timeout left, and Dallas is facing a second down. That is going on there. So the Cowboys get 3 field goals from Eddie Murray. That's the margin of difference as Jimmy Johnson's team goes into the locker room with a 9-point lead. It's Dallas 16 and the Green Bay Packers 7 halfway through this game at Texas Stadium.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Miller Lite, great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? Your Allstate agent for home, auto, life, and business insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate. And by AT&T, we help put your world within reach.